Let's be honest, going from Mastery rank 7 for the normal dual Keras to a Mastery rank 14 when the only big difference is instead of doing 115 total damage it now does 180, but it now has a 32% crit chance instead of a 38, 2.6 times multiplier is exactly the same, and status of 24% instead of 14. Yes, it is a good weapon, it still has a high attack speed, it still does quite a lot of damage actually. The slide attack and slam attack have all been raised on this, but it's the heavy attack efficiency enhanced while wielded by Keras that's going to make this thing a lot more fun to use. Needing of course the dual Keras Prime blades from the common drop on the Axii G8 relic, the Meso V7 relic having the handles as the uncommon drop, and the Neo D5 holding the rare blueprint for these things. I'm also very aware, before everybody mentions it, this is kind of late, mainly because it's been nearly a whole solid month, but I don't have an excuse. The heavy attack efficiency when this is wielded by Keras is the only reason I'm still kind of using Keras. That, and I finally decided to fix the format problem I created for myself with her, with the whole putting the wrong one on the aura. I really regret that one. But damn, these things work well. You can build them however you want to, but that's 65 total damage that is kind of spread across the impact, puncture and slash. It's noticeable. The extra 10% status, highly noticeable. 4% crit, not so much. Every other aspect of this, oh, this made the dual Keras Prime so much better than I expected them to be. I have been using the Keras Prime, playing with that so much. There's just something about being able to wipe out level 190 in half a magazine when it's only got a magazine of 16 that just makes that thing a lot of fun. But then there's this that, granted, I wouldn't say it has as much strength as that does, but build the combo counter up, it can have. But even just kind of base modding these things with nothing more than... that's the best way I can put this. I'm saying that because this is anything but base modding it. This is one format. One. Written right there, and in there we have Amalgam Organ Shatter. It increases the crit damage, but it increases the heavy attack wind up at the same time, so it is sacrificing a little bit of crit damage, but Sacrificial Steel is in there, giving this thing 102.4% constant crit chance, and 4.8 times, yeah. Then obviously, goes without saying, Prime Pressure Point. I like my fast dual wielding melee weapons, so Prime Fury had to go in there, and then I quite literally just stuck the 4 dual stat elemental mod, so it's over 100% crit chance with over 80% status. 81.6 can't be frowned upon. Yeah, okay, granted, we can get that damage up much quicker. I mean, it's quite literally just a case of coming down here, finding this and going like that. So much more damage. But is it worth the extra 12... Sorry, I keep getting wrong for saying 1200. The extra 1200 damage when it's now attacking at half the speed? DPS wise, I'll rather take the lower stat numbers with the higher attack speed, because obviously this is going to be hitting twice as quick, which means it's going to be doing 3000 twice as often as it's doing 4. Yeah, I'll leave that in there, thank you very much. Are they worth it given the fact that you need 2 blades, 2 handles and a blueprint? It's only a 12-hour build. Apparently it's also only 12 platinum to rush it, which, to be fair, if you've got 10 platinum, this is the kind of thing you want to spend that on rather than waste it on other things that are kind of meaningless. This, heck yes. It is very... This is actually kind of Warframe back as Warframe should be. Not only is the Prime better, it doesn't take a lot to make it even stronger than it was before. The fact that Sacrificial Steel is in there without use of an Umbra former is kind of huge. Yes, for a lot of my melee weapons I'm throwing that in there. Depends if they can be built for crit or not. 102.4% crit chance, you better believe that thing is in there. A Riven goes without saying. If I had one, I'd put it in here. The only Riven I have is a veiled one. Melee Riven mod, and I do believe that one, for anybody who was wondering, is complete a defense mission with level 30 or higher enemies, and I believe it can't take any damage, and you've got to have a hobbled key equipped. There's lots of ways to unlock it, but the chance I'd actually get a Riven for this is slim to none. But oh, a Riven on this instead of Prime Fury that still has attack speed to it, would be kind of a must, but increases crit chance at the same time, or even crit multiplier. Oh, that would turn this thing into a beast of a weapon. It is ridiculously useful to start with. It is just made better with things like that. Same as trying to defend the way that I have this built. Already mentioned it, Prime Fury is in there and people keep giving me grief for having Prime Fury in melee weapons, but yeah, 1.94 attack speed versus 1 means you're kind of doing almost twice the speed, which means twice the DPS, which means twice the damage. Quite literally. That's why I tend to put Prime Fury in there. Plus I like fast melee. I do not particularly like slow melee. This, it starts as an okay melee weapon, gets better, and with as little as you could build this thing to be amazing without Sacrificial Steel in there, without putting a single former in it. This is what I mean by the return of what primes are supposed to be. I'm with everybody else. I'm hoping one day they do bring that whole, maybe they will add primes do something else, but at the minute prime weaponry, it's a increased, better looking, better damaging, better working version of the normal weapons. Frames is exactly the same, unless you go to the Void where it used to work slightly better. I'm hoping they make this so against the corrupted, prime weapons just work better, because that I would love to see, but they don't. It doesn't really matter with something like this, because yeah, I love dual wielding weaponry, and right now I'm not taking these off. I say that quite a lot, but it's been a month now nearly, and I haven't taken these off. I have been running them the whole time, and there's no chance I'm taking these off, because they are just so much fun to use. Yes, there is a couple melee weapons I would probably go to if I was doing something much higher level, but for everything else, I'm going to rock the dual Keras Primes, because they are still high damaging, they are still fun, and I'm a complete sucker for dual wielding anything. These, I really want to say are my favourite dual wielding. They are my favourite dual wielding weapon at the moment, until they come out with something else. But that's what were they called? The dual wielding Tonfas, the Kratos. There we go. If I can get to what the weapon is, we're fine. But the Kratos, they were good. I like them, but I was expecting them to be so much more. Yes, they do 40 more damage than this, but they are slower attacking than these. These start at a 1.25, not a 1.25. The Tonfas, the Kratos, start at a 1.17, which means DPS wise, yeah, I would very easily equip them and then go back and find, wow, there are so many melee weapons in this game, it's not even funny anymore. And then notice them, and you can see these are slightly better for attack speed, crit chance, status chance, yeah, crit chance. I know the Kratos can be evolved into its enhanced form and all of that loveliness, but yeah, as a base use weapon, sorry, I'm gonna have to go for these pretty much every time. Plus, they just look so much better. And I prefer a dual wielding sword than I do the dual wielding Tonfas anyway. That just comes down to the stance of them being ever so slightly more agreeable with the way that I play, and that being able to jump forward comes in really handy sometimes. But with that, we've gone on way too long, so we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.